the big thing we should be talking about, Bill Simmons just dropping on his pod that Zion will be traded by this Thursday.
Insane.
I want to ask you guys, in Tones, we'll bring you back in here. Would you trade for Zion Williamson right now?
100%.
Hell no.
100%.
What are you talking about?
100%. 100% I would trade for Zion Williamson.
No way.
His value's never going to be lower.
This doesn't
the value's never going to be lower on Zion.
No, but it's still high. I still think a guy like that is going to still cost you a pretty penny, and you might not get anything in terms of value on the court back. Like, there's a chance you get zero. Like, New Orleans has basically gotten zero. What have they gotten? Like 40 good games out of the guy? Like, he hasn't like done anything for him. So like,
true.
And now all this
when
other
he's on
stuff,
when he's on the court, he's unbelievable.
He's great.
And all of this is what with this Zion situation, this is what I can't separate from. What did he do wrong?
Bang porn stars.
What did he do wrong?
Not play basketball.
Yeah.
That's injury.
He doesn't take care of his body.
No.
That's injury related. That's injury related.
Hold on.
That has nothing to do.
No, but Webby,
that has nothing.
That's
100%.
part of his body type. Everybody knew him coming in. Like, that was the reports, is he's got to take care of his body in a very specific way. And it takes the work off the court that makes you great, right? That's the new way. LeBron doesn't play into year now, 21 next season at the level that he's going at without taking care of him the way that he is taking care of himself. Zion is not even like, it looks like he's not even attempting to try. Like, his workouts are banging porn stars, which, great job. Good for you. Excellent work. It's great for cardio, great for a lot of things. If you can do it, great. However, it's not translating. He's not getting on the court. He had the hammy thing this year, and he was out the whole fucking season. Like, that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. A month, 2, fine. The whole season, bad. Not good.
If I were the Miami Heat, I would be making the call.
Yeah. Now you want to put Zion in Miami? Hold on a second. We're talking about party places to go to where there's crazy women everywhere, and you want to put him in Miami?
We're talking about We're talking about culture.
You're trying to talking about
playing. We're talking about playing under. We're talking about playing under Pat Riley. We're talking about playing under Alonzo Mourning. We're talking about playing under Eric Spoelstra. We're talking about playing under Jimmy Butler. If there are 4 people in the NBA who work under one organization that I would want Zion to be a part of, it's those 4 people.
But it's not about you got to be willing to like actually accept the coaching. You know what I mean? And accept the help. Like, we're kidding ourselves if we think the New Orleans Pelicans haven't tried everything in their power to get this guy in line, right? Be a pro. And that's ultimately on you.
Zion is 22 years old.
Which makes it even worse that he's only played like 20 games a season every year in his career.
If you think that I'm going to pass up the opportunity to have that kind of talent on my team, especially if I have an infrastructure of leadership there, you're crazy. So you're crazy.
If the price is so low that you can't turn it down,
it's going to be the lowest in his career. Lowest in his career.
But the lowest of his career. He's still a first overall pick. Like you mentioned, when he is on the court, he is great. Like, he is good. So, like, the price isn't going to be as low as you think it's going to be. Because
New Orleans,
I really don't think so. Like, if it takes multiple firsts or a player like Bam, like, you're not doing it, man.
You would take Bam over Zion Williamson after seeing what Bam did in the finals against Jokic.
At least
Bam's
Bam
on
plays.
the court.
Yeah, he plays. Like, here's the thing. This whole thing, especially with the headlines of Mariah Mills, is now threatening to release sex tapes of Zion Williamson. Like, that is a headline that's going on right now. But here's what I'm saying, though, Webby. Here's what I'm saying.
Is he facing a 25-game suspension?
Here's the thing, though, Webby.
Is he facing a 25-game suspension?
Here's the thing. If Zion was playing and playing well, we'd be laughing at this Mariah Mills story as it just being hilarious and funny.
Yeah.
Aren't we doing that?
We are doing that, but there's still a part of it that we feel bad for him because he can't get on the court, and yet this is what he's being known for in his career. The fact that he's not being on the court
is recency
what
bias.
makes it worse.
It's not.
This is recency.
Do you know what the recency bias is?
Just,
Zion not playing DNP Zion. That's recency bias.
All right. So
this is just another nail in the coffin of like, cool. Now there's this. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not the thing that's making us turn off of Zion, but it's just another thing that's like, holy Christ. Like as Logan Roy would say, he's not serious people, man. He's not serious people.
Yeah, but if I can get him into a situation that's full of serious people that have done serious work with other talented players like Zion Williamson, I want to do everything I can to get him in there.
So this is what I'll say. It depends on who my organization is. If I'm the Portland Trailblazers and it's going to cost me like whatever, the number 3 pick, whatever prospects I have, cool. I'm going to make that trade for Zion Williamson because I have Dame Lillard and I'm kind of on a clock and I need some sort of fuckery situation like this to get another superstar in Portland. So if I'm Portland, yeah, I take that risk and I do that. If I'm a team like the Heat, like I have a culture, I have like something ingrained and already built in. I don't need Zion. I can keep
Isn't that
cooking.
exactly where you'd want to end up? Isn't that exactly the kind of player that you want there? No, somebody that you can put through the Heat culture?
Do you know the story of when they recruited Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley was showing him around and he sees the scale and Pat Riley gets on the scale and shows Jimmy Butler that he's right around his same playing weight? Pat Riley, right? Then just to show, and Jimmy Butler decides he's going to get on the scale to show his playing weight, and that would be under whatever the Miami Heat rules are. Zion Williamson is not passing that test.
Not when he shows up. Not when he shows up for sure. But listen,
lesser people.
This is a 22-year-old. This is a 22-year-old kid whose career is not over. You guys are crazy. I understand that he's had a little bit of injury risk, but when he's on the court, he's unbelievable.
A little bit.
And if you're a team that's serious about getting better, and you don't think you have the culture to put this guy into your system, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, if I'm the Raptors, yeah, I try and go get Zion Williamson because again, we have trouble getting superstars.
But he's destined for failure in Toronto. You understand?
Why is he destined for failure in Toronto?
Because there's no infrastructure to teach this kid how to play.
But then that's
like a brand new coach from Eastern Europe. You think he's going to talk?
So you're talking about 3 teams in the whole entire NBA.
Like that's like every team doesn't have
you're talking about like 3 teams in the NBA then that have a culture.
I think there's more than 3. I think there's more than 3. That
like who are they? It's
the
Miami,
Heat, the Spurs,
the Warriors,
Boston,
maybe. Boston? Fuck no.
State Warriors.
Come on, man. What's Joe Mazzulla saying, man? Come on.
Okay. That's coach. That's coach. But from the owner down to the basketball president of basketball operations, they're obviously very good at developing.
Question for you. You would trade Jaylen Brown for Zion?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I would. That's a crazy.
I would.
That Russillo trade. That's
I would not
the dumbest thing. There's no way the Pelicans would take Jaylen Brown for Zion Williamson and Herb Jones. That's not happening. New Orleans would not do that.
Man,
New Orleans wouldn't do that.
New Orleans would not do that.
I think New Orleans would do that. I think New Orleans would do that.
I think New Orleans would run and would be like, please, yes, thank you. Like,
come on, Webby.
I really do. Like,
Webby, you guys watch the playoffs this year?
I want to reiterate.
Yes,
that,
and Zion wasn't in the playoffs.
Yeah, I understand that. Jaylen Brown can't dribble to his left.
But you know who he's
playing dribble period. Like he's not dribbling anywhere. He's dribbling his fucking wang on the bed. Like what are we doing?
I can't believe
that's not doing anything.
Nuts. This is nuts.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like I'm not
he's
like trying to hate on
22-year-old.
I think I get it, Webby. I get it. I just
so you think his career is over? So hold on. You think Zion Williamson's career is over?
No, I don't.
There's no reclamation for him. He'll never play again. He'll never be an all-star.
Nobody said that.
He has no future.
Nobody said that.
But then I don't understand what
you have to be an all-star first to be another all-star, Webby.
There is a real chance, Webby. He's just like what Kevin Love has kind of turned into. Like he's kind of a role playing in and out of the lineup. And he's kind of like, but he's not a star, Webby. He's not like the reason the Miami Heat got there. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to end up being one of these guys that bounces around from team to team until he's like 30. and then it's fucking over, and he's going to be in and out of line. Like, how do you? It's just about reliability. It's about consistency. If I'm a GM, I want to know what I'm getting out of most players on my team, especially your core guys, right? That's what I want to know. At least Jaylen Brown, I know what the fuck I'm getting. Cool, can't dribble left. We can coach around that. Zion, where is he? Can't coach around that. He's not in the fucking building, Webby. Like, I'm not coughing up the 3rd overall pick for him. I'm not coughing up a Jaylen Brown for him. Like, if the cost is so low that you just have to take a dart throw on him, great. But like, I just like the 22 years old thing, the former 1st overall pick thing. That's how you can sucker a GM into being like, yeah, take this guy. And that's why, like, right now, like, we see this shit in the NFL. Like, DeAndre Hopkins is like this big prize. Like, guy, he's been washed for 3 years. Like, this is not, you're just acquiring name brand recognition. You're not acquiring an actual player that's going to contribute to winning on your franchise. That's what it's all about.
Zion will get traded because some team will believe that they will be able to turn him around, get him a chef, get him all these things. My biggest thing, though, if you can't motivate someone to get in shape and eat right before they get the money, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do it after they get the money. And Zion Williamson, to this point, has missed more games than he's played. He's had more highlights on Instagram in pregame than he's had during the game.
That's not
because
true.
He's injured
That's
all the
not true.
time.
That's not true.
The last year we saw more highlights of Zion dunking in pregame
last year he
warm-ups.
Granted, he played 30 games. He averaged 26 points a game.
He played 29 games. Come on, man.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
He averaged 26 points a game. He was unreal until he got hurt.
Come on, man. But how often? How much are you going to continue?
Hey, that's fine. You pay Fred VanVleet $30 million a year.
Fred plays. I'd rather have a guy that plays.
Great.
I'd rather do that because he plays.
Sweet. I'd rather have the 22-year-old who has the world in front of him.
And you know what else Fred VanVleet doesn't have? A porn star threatening to release sex tapes about him. Okay?
We don't know that.
That's also what Fred VanVleet.
We don't know that.
She's threatening to release sex tapes. What do you mean?
I'm just saying, Fred might. He might just be better at social media than Zion.
Are you guys watching the tapes?
No.
Yes.
No.
Of course I am. Shut up. Yes, you are.
No, I am not.
I don't need to.
Yo,
you're his number one fan. You have to watch.
Do you know what video?
I'm just saying this is insane.
Yo, do you know what video? Watch though. Did you see the video of Zion's mother of his soon-to-be child fight on the street?
No, but I like that.
So this is how I won't say how she became famous, but this is a little bit of a deep dive here. But so if you're familiar with the Joe Budden podcast, there's a new member of said Joe Budden podcast named Queen's Flip. Flip does a lot of, we'll say, interesting content on the internet. And one of those things, he's affiliated with, I think her name's Rose, who was on one of Flip's shows before. And there's kind of like a reality TV kind of background to it. But in one of the more popular videos that dropped when this whole thing blew up is Zion's girlfriend, wife, baby moms, I don't know what you want to characterize her as, but getting in a fight with this other woman and her top just completely falls apart. And I'll just say there's a lot of things swinging in this video, more than just fists. And I'm just like, yo, this is a star player of my team that doesn't even play, that I'm waiting for this whole thing to occur.